Hello everyone and welcome back to the Belgian Beer Brothers channel. Cedric here in Antwerp with yet another brand new brew review. Today we are having an absolute classic, even though many people have never heard of this. We are having an Oud Bruin beer in the style of Rodenbach, for example, or Liefmans Gouden Band. And we are having an Ichtegems Oud Bruin by Brewery Strubbe. Now, fun fact, Strubbe was founded in 1831, which is the exact same year that Belgium as a country was founded. And 10 years after Rodenbach started out. So Rodenbach technically is older than Belgium is. Now, Ichtegems Oud Bruin is named after the town it's from, Ichtegem. The name literally translates to Old Brown from Ichtegems, nothing more, nothing less. When it comes to brewing, this beer differentiates itself from other styles in more than one way. First of all, it's hopped with old hops from Poperinge, just like the classic lambic beers, and this is because the brewers don't necessarily want the flavor of the hops, they just want the bacteriostatic effects rather than the flavors. Secondly, this is a top fermented beer, but it's fermented at rather low temperatures. So yeah, this beer ferments at around 18 degrees centigrade, whereas lager range from 4 to 14, and most top fermenting yeast strains work best above 20 degrees, preferably around 24-25. But this one does at 18 degrees. After that main fermentation, the temperature is lowered to around 0, so the freezing point of water, to start the lagering, the aging step. But only 80% of the batch is kept in the current vessel, and the remaining 20% is transferred to a separate wooden vessel, a keg, where it undergoes a second fermentation with added lactic acid bacteria for an intentional acidification. After up to 18 months, the acidic older beer is then mixed with the younger, sweeter beer. Et voilà, Ichtegems Oud Bruin. So technically it's mixed fermentation. In the end, we get a classic acidic old brown beer with an ABV of 5% and around 18 IBUs. I think I've only had this once, years ago, during a lecture on the Old Brown style. I think that evening we had Liefmans Gouden Band, which is one of my absolute favorites, and a Rodenbach, which is the staple. But I think this one, or at least an obscure version of this, was there as well. And they also make some Grand Cru beers, some cuvées. I think I have one of those in the fridge as well in a few videos. Very simple, plain red bottle cap. And well, we can't say a lot about the label. This has a picture of wooden barrels with some barrels highlighted, and it does say Ichtegems Oud Bruin, natural beer of top fermentation, brewed in old traditional style, aged in oak barrels. And it's apparently 5.5%. I remembered this wrong, I thought it was only 5, but it's 5.5. This does have a lot of foam for an acidic beer, for an old brown style. So that looks promising. Like I said, this is quite different than the other ones. Also, 25 centiliter APO bottle, so this is one of those that is not sold in 33 centiliter bottles, but 25s rather. I have nothing against that. I actually like smaller portions, and there is a reason for those portions, because when it comes to alcohol consumption, we talk about standard units. And 25 centiliters of around 5.2% ABV is 1 standard unit of alcohol. That is why a shot is 4 or 6 centiliters depending on the strength of the liquor that you put in it. That is why we have 12 or 15 centiliter wine glasses, and so on and so on. So a 33 centiliter of about 8%, for example, like a Duvel, is actually 2 units already. And a lot of people think that they can drink 2 beers and drive, but it's 2 units and maybe drive. So, okay, back to the beer. Beautiful deep brown color. I'm getting hints of like molten caramel. Yeah, beautiful golden brown. And some nice creamy, dense off-white foam, exactly the way that you would expect it, be it a bit more than I would expect, but absolutely beautiful. A lot of activity in the beer as well. Normally these rather acidic beers don't have that much activity in them, because the acid sort of fights the carbon dioxide, which is in itself also kind of an acid. I'm not gonna lie, I absolutely adore this fragrance. Beautiful, beautiful nasal palate. I read somewhere that there's not a lot of acid in the scent, but I must contradict that. I think Ben Vinke wrote that. I do get this sour smell. Now, he might be right in the fact that there is not that aggressive acidity, but you do get that sour scent. Slightly lemony, but yeah, mainly lactic acid, like we know it. It's like a bit lemon, a bit of green apple, a bit of brown sugar like molasses. Also a lot of dried fruit like raisins or figs. And a bit astringent, a bit woody. Or an extremely complex palate. Also even a bit of pineapple. And some red berries, like cranberries. And I'm guessing that as this beer warms up, that palate will open up even more. Now this is what we would expect in an acidic beer like this, that like 5 millimeters of foam, which is perfect in this case. Okay, let's have a taste. Cheers. Right off the bat, flavor very different than the fragrance. Mouthfeel rather thin, a bit watery, but not in a bad sense. It's watery, not watered down. Very important nuance. But it is rather thin. Quite a bit of carbon dioxide, and that acidity immediately grabs you. But it is a very pleasant way, a very pleasant kind of acidity. Also, initial flavor, wood. It says oak aged, but this really tastes woody and a bit of vanilla-like. So we know that vanilla is one of those flavors that is brought out or drawn out of the oak wood. And the younger the wood, the more vanilla you get. And I think these are aged in rather young barrels for two reasons. First off, a lot of vanilla. The flavor vanilla, not the sweetness. And secondly, it's like chewing a bit on wood. It's like very, very fresh, woody. And I might be odd in this way, but I do kind of like that. I really don't mind fresh new barrels. A lot of people don't like that and want used and relatively often used barrels. I like this just as well. That molasses that was in the nose, very present, absolutely not there in the flavor. I'm not gonna say there's no sweetness in this beer, but it absolutely has this, it's not sweetness, it's fruitiness. It's less sour than the scent would make us think. So in the nose we had a lot of green apple, some pineapple even, and in the flavor I'm leaning more towards red apples. Like those sweet and sour, really juicy red apples that you buy in a farmer's market. So yeah, to round things up, woody, slightly acidic, a bit of lemon, a bit of apple. Actually, that bit of pineapple that I got in the nose is also in the flavor. I don't know where that came from. That dried fruit, very subtle, but I do get some raisins in there as well. Some dried fig maybe, just like in the nose. And despite being hopped with old hops and not getting the flavor, it does have quite a tangy bitterness in it, which is absolutely beautiful. Really tops things off. Really works on the side of your tongue, on the weak tissue in the mouth. Yeah, beautiful. And when it comes to aftertaste, the after flavor, I am getting mainly fruitiness and some bitterness. It's like having a really crisp, top quality lager and eating an apple with that. But with quite a bit of hop in there as well. So absolutely beautiful. I think this is a fantastic gateway beer into the world of Old Brown, which is a super interesting style in itself. Very unique to not just to Belgium, but to a very tiny part of Belgium, which is like the border between East and West Flanders. So that's like a very tiny part of two provinces of a very tiny country. Yeah, it's like having Rodenbach but not commercial. Yeah, I would love to pit this against the Rodenbach Grand Cru as well. So yeah, maybe we'll have another shootout in a while. Okay, that all being said, I'm gonna finish this comfortably, and I would like to see you guys in the next video. Until then, thank you so much for watching. If you want to support this channel, share a video with some friends, visit the Patreon page, take a look at some merch, and if you have any questions, suggestions, remarks, whatever, leave them down in the comments. If you like this particular video, hit that thumbs up, and I will see you guys again in the next video. Cheers.